Alright, so everyone has been curious lately on how World Machine works and how everything else works and converting it into Minecraft and bitmaps and whatnot. So I'm going to start doing some videos explaining how all of this works and hopefully get you guys to be able to create some really nice maps that are really up to date and look really nice in renders and in game as well. So to start it out, you guys are going to need to get World Machine. The link will be in the description. All you got to do is click the download button. And this download will be a free trial. If you wanted to buy it, it would be $99 for a standard edition and then $249 for a professional edition. And if you do get the trial version, you are limited to 513 by 513 pixels. And what that means is you will be limited to a 513 by 513 block map. Whereas in the other versions, you're limited to 4K or unlimited. But when you open up the program, you are given all these nodes, and at first, it is pretty confusing, all the colors and whatnot. But before you get into anything, you need to ensure that the program and its settings are set up to work perfectly with Minecraft. World Machine alone is not meant for Minecraft. It was not developed for Minecraft. It is just a terrain generation software. So you do need to go into this panel over here, the World Extents and Resolutions. You could get there by clicking this button or going to World Commands and Project World Parameters. You're given this screen. Now, typically, if you wanted to use Minecraft settings, and you wanted a 500 by 500 map, you would type 500 meters, and it'll give you this. Okay, now as you can see, it is very small. So what we do is we multiply the scale by 10 to work better with World Machine. So you're going to use 5,000 meters instead, which, if you're familiar with the metric system, that'll be 5 kilometers. Now, the resolution over here is what is this is extremely important when you're exporting your map. So you want to make sure if you have a 5 kilometer map, which is, of course, 500 blocks, you want to make sure that your scale or your resolution is set exactly to that. So if you have a 5 kilometer map, you want to use a 513 setting or 1000 resolution for a 10K map, which will be a 1K by 1K Minecraft map. And lastly, the Minecraft height limit, like before, it is 256 meters, but we need to multiply that by 10 to work better with World Machine. So you just want to add a 0 at the end and make it 256 by, or 2560 meters. And this is all you need to touch in order to get it to work with Minecraft, just the world size, the resolution, and the height. So once you're done with that, you can get into the actual production of terrain. So if you look up here, you have a tab for macros, which is custom generation tools designed with other nodes. You have the generator tab. This will be pretty much the basic production and maps, like the stuff that you use at the start. You have the output, which is you're exporting stuff when you're taking out the height maps and the bitmaps and whatnot. Combiners, which are used to, as stated, combine different sections. You have the filters, which are blue. As you can see here, you have the terrace. And what these do is these will adjust the terrain and stuff based on what nodes you're using. You have natural, which gives you coastal erosion, rivers, and snow, and thermal weathering. This is the stuff that you want to use near the end of your terrain, which makes it even more natural by giving you rain weathering or thermal weathering or whatever, any type of erosion. You have selectors, which these are mainly used in the coloring of your maps, which is done at the end, or it might not even be needed at all. Which it's the same thing with converters and the parameters and whatnot. This stuff you don't really need to pay attention to. So mainly you want to pay attention to the generators, the output, the combiners, the filters, and the natural nodes. So if you start out, you have this advanced Perlin here, and that can be found right here under the generator tab. You have all these other stuff. And the advanced Perlin, as stated, is advanced. It has all these different stuff, and if you look up in the corner here, anything that you change is shown in real time there. So all these different elevation stuff and the steepness, you can change how it looks. And then there's a output here, and that will create a line which can go into another node. So all you do is you connect that to the terrace node. And the terrace is a filter generator. And if you look, this terracing is giving terraces and whatnot into your terrain. And of course, like anything, it can be adjusted by dragging the lines, and it's really just trial and error to figure out what each slider does and whatnot. To view your terrain, and like it's not as good to view the terrain over here. So you have these 5 buttons up here. You have the device view, which shows all your nodes and devices. You have the what's this called? Layout view, which will show you your layouts and whatnot. You have the Explorer view, which really isn't that useful. I just don't pay attention to that. You have the 3D view, which is at the moment at low resolution because it's not rendered. And you have the 2D view, which just gives an overview. Typically, all you really want to use is the device view, the layout view, and the 3D view. But if you go back to the 3D view, what it does is shows the selected node that you have. So if you have the advanced purlin here, it just shows the purlin. But if you go into here, on the terrace, it shows both the advanced purlin and the terracing. So at the moment, it is not fully rendered. So what you want to do is press this green build button, and it will render the terrain. Now, like any rendering software, the more nodes that you have, the longer it'll take to render. So at the moment, this isn't too natural because you just have terracing without any natural environment to it. So what we can do is just go up here and grab an erosion node. And all you do is you click it and you just want to drop it on the line, and then it'll automatically connect it. Or what you also could do is just drop it here and then take the output of the terrace and connect it to here. So basically, there's more nodes and stuff and lines and stuff that you could draw. So if I drag the sediment carry all the way up, go into here and render it, it's going to take a bit longer to render, but you can see it adds more natural flow lines and stuff. But of course, that's still not too natural because different areas and stuff have different rock hardness or are exposed more to the weather conditions. So you can mess with this and whatnot and get exactly what you want. It's your freedom to do whatever. So let's put it at that and go back to 3D view and let that render. And as you can see, the longer duration led to a longer build time at 8 seconds. And from this, you have eroded terrain with some terraces and whatnot, and it looks pretty natural. Now, the erosion has a couple of outputs. You have the flow map, the wear map, and the depth position map. Now, what these are is they're a form of height map, but it's not really used to import as height. So if you look at this right here, you have these white lines and stuff. Now what this does is it is showing where the erosion is taking place. So if you get an overlay device, which can be found right here in the output thing, you can connect the erosion to the top one and the flow map to here. And what that will do is it'll show you where the erosion is taking place. Now this could be used in coloring, it could be used for biome painting, it could be used for just about anything that you want. But at the moment, we're not going to get into any of that, as that is some really advanced stuff. And at the moment, I'm just going to teach you guys how to use the program. So, of course, there is tons of stuff, and I do not have the time to cover it all. So I'm going to let you guys figure a bunch of that out, and we'll get into more stuff the next episode. If you have any questions, please let me know on Twitter. I'll have my Twitter and whatnot below. I'm pretty sure most of you guys follow me. But this is purely just the simplistics for World Machine. Okay, there's far more advanced stuff that I can go through, exporting, coloring, advanced terrain creation, and whatnot. But that is all for another day. So thank you for watching. I will definitely get out more videos explaining everything else. There's tons of stuff to cover, but I'll keep it limited to 10 minutes right now. So hopefully you enjoyed. Thank you for watching.